Hello, hello! Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tabs and I am the maker and creator behind Safari Stitches. And today is a market prep video. Market prep and custom orders, I guess, because I have a lot of orders to catch up on from when I was out of town in the UK for a week and a half. I'm slowly making a dent in those. I think I got like 7 of them done. Because I shipped 4 and I've got 3 sitting here. So yeah, 7 of them finished. I sold 17 while we were out of town, which is fantastic. I have no complaints. However, I've sold several more since we've been home. So they're just I can tell that we're getting into the busy season for orders now. My Etsy store has been slowly picking up pace. I've been getting a lot of favorites on different listings, which is really exciting because I'm tired of making loaf cats, kind of. But let me get you caught up on some of the things that I have made this week. I have not really filmed a whole lot. I filmed my last week's video, which was my UK trip recap and my new pattern and etc. etc. But I haven't really filmed a whole lot this week just because I've been not feeling very good. I've got some kind of gross, it's not the flu, but I haven't really felt great. You can still hear it in my voice. And then obviously I broke my ankle, so I've just kind of been down in the dumps a bit. And today was the first day that I felt fully human almost. I got changed out of pajamas. I was able to really get in the shower and just kind of refresh myself, do a little bit of self-care. And I feel so good today. So I figured, why not just go ahead and start my next YouTube video? So here we are. First things first, if you did not catch my video last week, feel free to go back and watch it, but if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. This is my newest pattern, Fergus the Fungi, and he is a part of my new Bookshelf Buddy series. So these items are all going to be flat-bottomed, and they're going to be chunky and adorable and fun and great for bookshelf sitting or desktop sitting. This is the full-size series. This is the first one, and he has a fun little secret underneath his cap. The tester call is going out on this upcoming Sunday. By the time this video comes out, my pattern will already be with testers, so that will be closed at that point. However, I have a very long list in my notebook of the ones that I want to create for this series. So I'm really hoping that between now and the end of the year, I'm going to have a bunch of tester calls go up. So if you are a fun crochet friend and you love pattern testing, I do not discriminate against followers or anything as long as you have a public crochet account and it shows your creations that you have made, and I feel like your skill level matches with what I'm looking for. That is what I base it off of. I don't pay attention to followers at all. So feel free to go follow me over on Instagram. You can find me here. It's also linked in the description. You can also find my Etsy shop down there if you're looking for my previous patterns, or if you're looking to buy gifts for Christmas. You can also find my website linked down below with all of my ready to ship items. Is there anything else? No, I don't think so. I think that's my spiel. The other thing anyways, so that's kind of all the housekeeping. So now I think I want to show you guys the custom loaf cats that I have made. So I've made 7 since we got back from our trip, and I have a ton more to get finished, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. Ugh. I'm struggling with this. Oh gosh, I just sent one rolling across the floor. So this one was kind of a unique one for me because this person reached out to me while we were out of town. It was pretty early on in my trip, and she was like, it's a memorial plushie for her sweet cat that passed away, and she wanted it fully weighted and to look like her and all of that fun stuff. So this was a custom. I made it longer than my normal because I wanted to make it as heavy. Oh my gosh. as heavy as possible. But this is the first custom loaf cat. Obviously, she's a little bit longer. She is very loaf shaped, more so than the regular loaf cat pattern. For sure. This thing weighs 6.5 pounds. It is completely full of glass beads. I went with glass because they're a bit heftier than the standard plastic pellets that most people use. And this was so hard to crochet with. I literally, by the time I got to the end, it was sitting on its face, and I was just slowly rotating it as I crocheted around the body, and it was so hard. By the end of it, I was ready to be done with her. But I've already sent her off, like pictures off to my customer, and she loves it. So we are good to go there. The second one that I finished was this little tortie. Yeah, tortie? Yeah, I think that's right. Tortoiseshell, yeah. No, calico. What am I talking about? Why does it look so crooked? I think it's because the coloring on the face looks weird. Because it's all asymmetric. That's crazy looking. It's fine though, right? Oh my god. It looks fine in person. I'm not worrying about it. But this is the next one that I got done. So that's 2 out of the 3. And then last but not least, this one I almost threw out the window because I was so irritated. I literally frogged this 3 or 4 times because I couldn't figure out what was going on. But as I was working up this cat, when I was getting to the paws, my counts were totally off from my ears to the paws, and they weren't lining up. And I frogged it. I had the right number of rounds. I just kept frogging it, and eventually I was just like, you know what, forget it. So I adjusted the paw placement and just continued on going. Come to find out, when I went to close up this guy, I had 9 stitches in my finishing round instead of 8. So I placed an extra stitch in my magic ring, and I never realized it. And y'all are gonna be like, well, why didn't you count the stitches, Tabs? Well, you know what? I've memorized this pattern, so I'm just over here like, okay, increase, single increase, single increase, single. Like, I'm just like going through the stitch. Like, I don't count the stitches anymore, except for when I get to the ears. And even then, I don't always count it because it doesn't always line up because of the patterning or whatever, and I have to adjust it anyways. So I very rarely, like, I could not, I mean, in my head, I obviously know that 5 times 4 is 40, so it'd be 40 around. But I don't know why it didn't occur to me to just count it. So don't come for me, you know? I don't want to hear it because I was about ready to set that thing on fire. It was just one of those days. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with this anymore. So I just continued it and I finished it. And now it's a little bit bigger than what my normal loaf cats would be, but it's fine. I'm just going to have to find a slightly larger box to ship it in. So there's that. Aside from that, I did get a very small amount of market prepping done. I made these adorable. Gosh, I'm obsessed. And I can't remember the name of the pattern creator off the top of my head right this second, but I'll pop it up on the screen for you. But these little Triceratops snugglers. Look at how cute. And I made them opposites. So this one is green with brown spots, and this is brown with green spots. And I love them so much. They're so cute. And historically, dinosaur anything doesn't really do well for me. So you would be like, oh, why did you make dinosaur snugglers then? And you know what? Because I wanted to. I think they're adorable. They're so cute. And I will say, this is the old Bernat formula. So this yarn was not very fun to work with at all. I actually hated it quite a lot. So I'm kind of glad that I burned through a little bit of it. But I love these colors together. I think they came out so cute. I think the green one is probably my favorite. I can't lie. But I'm also a green girly, so I still need to put eyes on them, but I'm literally obsessed with this pattern. Of course, I will link it below for you if you want it. On the note of, oh God, where did my notebook go? On the note of, oh geez, I have literally got memory cards everywhere, and I'm gonna get confused. I have a market prep list, and my next market is on October 25th. Today is October 3rd, so we have 22 days, 3 weeks, which is great because I'm going to need all the time I can get, I think, to fulfill this list. So, if you watched one of my previous videos, I did a 12-hour Pokemon Minimon crochet challenge. I think I only made it through 6 hours of it, but either way. I have all of these little Minimon Pokemon that I want to make. I don't think I'm going to be able to make all of these, largely because I don't know that I have all of the colors that I'm going to need. But some of these are just restocks of the original 5 that I have. One of them I don't need to restock because I haven't sold any. And then there's a couple that I don't know that I'll sell. Like some of the evolutions I probably will leave till last. And then if I have time, I will make those. But very long list of Pokemon that I would like to make. So there's that list of stuff. Then I've got this lovely list here that's 3 pages long as of right now. And unfortunately, I'll get to it in a second. So here's my list of things that I still need to make. Mini anchor, I need to make one of. However, I already have it made. I just need to put it together. So that's a win for me. I want to make a big anchor, chubby birds, which are, I think, the Cozy Stitch. I need to make 10 mallards, except I have 3 of them here that don't have wings on them, so I feel a little bit ahead on those, which is nice. And then I need to make 5 white ones. Bitty Cow Snugglers, which is Raven Jade Co., the Cookie the Cow Snuggler. I want to make 5 of those. I need to make 4 of my cow plushies. I want to make 3 hanging plants, 1 of the Mama Made Minis Dino Snugglers, 1 Mama Made Minis Unicorn Snuggler, 1 llama snuggler, 2 possum snugglers, 2 of my rhino plushies, 5 regular sized sea turtles, 8 mini loaf cats. Small possums, I don't know the number because I need to count my inventory and see what I have. I want to say it's at least 5 that I need to make to restock. I need 5 small sea turtles, 2 more hedgehogs, 2 more Diddy Decks snugglers, 1 Clubs the Clown, which is a creature made. That is a very hefty project. It's one of those ones where I would love to have it, but it's going to be time consuming, and it's one of the more expensive items that will be on my table. So part of me wants to leave Anchor the Octopus out and do him for the next market and do Clubs the Clown because this is right before Halloween and I feel like I'm more likely to sell him. I don't know though, because I have my Plague Doctor, which is also kind of a Halloween-y statement piece that I have, but I need 1 more bee garden bear, which I haven't made. I just need to do the ears, the wings, and I think that's it. 2 flower garden bears, 2 overall garden bears, 5 sweater teddies, 5 of my hanging pumpkin and ghost like car hangers, 2 flower spiders, 2 axolotes, 2 manatees, 2 T-Rexes, 2 cappuccinos, 1 giraffe snuggler. This is where I screwed up because I have 2 tiny triceratops snugglers on my list. I made 2 of the big ones. So I'm a little annoyed at myself that I didn't pay attention because I have the small dino snuggler on here as well. and I want to make 2 of each. So I don't know if I'm going to just count those or if I want to make the smaller ones. I'm not sure yet. 5 snowy owls. I want to make 2 of each color of the Ninja Turtles. The Junebug and James flowers, I want to make, I have a pack of 40 wooden dowels, maybe. I don't remember how many is in that pack. So 40 flowers. Kinder Knots patterns, you know, that is my girl. I love her patterns so stinking much. I've tested a couple of them for her. I need to make 2 Remy the reindeer, 2 of the bunnies, 2 of the bears, 1 Elliot the donkey, 2 koalas, 2 lions, and 2 monkeys. I have 2 elephants and 2 of the foxes that she just came out with. They're my favorite patterns. I love them so much. And then the Fable Friends by Oak and Marlowe. I need 2 foxes, 2 fawns, 2 dogs, 2 cats, and 2 bunnies. And I need to finish the mouse, which if you saw last week, I made these while we were in the UK. They're so cute. I'm obsessed. And I finished, obviously they still need noses, but I finished one of the mice. The other one doesn't have an ear attached. It's made, but it's just not attached. And I think that's it at the moment. It's a lot. It's a lot to get done. I also want to incorporate book buddies. Shannon at Case and Crochet, I know she makes them and she does pretty well with them. So I was messaging her today to kind of figure out how what books and stuff she gets or where she gets her books from. So I need to make a list of the books that I want and then start figuring out plushies for those to go with them, or like mini snugglers or something along those lines. I'm not really sure if I want to do, I know I want to do the Hungry Caterpillar with All From Jade's caterpillar pattern. I'll probably do 2 of those, I think, and just kind of see how they go. And then I want to pick 1 or 2 more. I know I found Corduroy the bear, so I could find a cute little, maybe Mama Made Minis has a mini bear snuggler, I think. They have a small version, so I might do that and turn it into Corduroy, which would be really cute. And then I think I found 1 more, but I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. I'm not sure. But yeah, that is kind of my update. For this video, I think I'm going to focus on some of the smaller items because I do have quite a lot in the larger item and the higher price category. So I want to do the sweater teddies and the hanging pumpkin the ghost and pumpkin car hangers that I created. I wrote the pattern myself. And I think I'm just going to use that and crank out, I want to make 5 of those. So I think those are going to be my top priorities for this week, is the sweater teddies and the pumpkin ghost car hangers. And then after that, I might move on to the Ninja Turtles because I've never made Ninja Turtles for my markets before. So I think that might be kind of fun to switch it up a little bit. And then after that, we'll probably move to the chubby birds so I can get all of those finished and just kind of see where I'm at after that point. But I'm going to have to get my bag put together to fill all my yarn because I can't walk. So I have to carry bags of things around the house with me whenever I move rooms. So I need to pull all of that together and decide what color bears I want to make. And I will check back in with you guys in a little while. All right. Ignore my appearance because I'm not feeling very good today. I don't know if I ate something. Not sure what's going on. It hasn't been a good morning. And my ankle hurts. So this is what you get today. This is it. This is it. So, but I wanted to come on and give you guys an update before I kind of get back into market prepping, and my camera's about to die. Let me go ahead and change the battery. Hold on. Okay, crisis averted. I have been hard at work. Well, kind of. So I wanted to come on. So I did work on the sweater bears 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago that I was working on them. I don't know how I feel about this pattern. I feel like they came out so much cuter in the pattern than when I made them, but I will say it was very much so like trust the process, because before it had the nose embroidered, I was like, not sure about this. So I have 2 Winnie the Pooh bears. I kind of wish I had only made 1, but I thought I was going to make 2 of each color, and I didn't, because I'm not really sure how I felt about the pattern. So I have 2 Pooh bears. I've got a gray bear in a blue and green sweater. These ones look cuter. I don't know if it's just like the contrasting muzzle that kind of does it for me, but I like them when they're not Pooh. And then I have a tan bear in a blue and black striped sweater. And then I've got this kind of like a rusty brownish red color in a pink and yellow sweater. And I think I have one more somewhere in here. Yeah, I do. And then I have this light gray one in a tie-dye sweater. And these are all done with Premier Basic Chenille and Burnout Blanket. I will say, I think this is a really good pattern for stash busting. I tend to keep most of my scraps of yarn if they're long enough. Sometimes I don't. But I have like this whole basket full of like tiny bits of yarn. And when you have bits of color like that and you only have to do 2 rounds of each color, I feel like this is a really great stash buster. So if you're looking for some ideas, my problem is I am constantly running out of my neutral colored yarns, and I enjoy making things in neutral colors just because that's what I'm drawn to, and that seems to be what sells the best for me, is things that are in their natural colors, and I just constantly run out of it. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of liked them after I made a few, but I have 6 total, and I'm not going to make any more. I'm going to see how they do at my market on the 25th. And if they do well, I will make more. But if not, then I probably won't make any more. And then I did get the eyes embroidered on my little Triceratops snugglers. So I've got this guy done. And I've got this guy done. They're so cute. I'm obsessed. I love them so much. And then I've been working on finishing the embroidery on my little Fable friends that I have done. So this mouse is finished. And I got the second bear done. I don't have outfits for the bears yet, obviously. And then I did get the nose embroidered on the cream one, but I still need to do her slipper laces. So there's that. And then after I finished that, I moved on to working on my pumpkin and ghost like car hangers. So I made all of the pumpkins, and as I was making these, I was like, gosh, these are coming out a lot bigger than what I remember them in my brain. And I went back to look at the ones that I sold on Palm Street, and they were slightly smaller than this. And then I realized that this is Sweet Snuggles Light from Michaels, and the original ones I used Parfait Chunky, because when I was making a ghost using the Sweet Snuggles, it was coming out massive, and I don't like giant things hanging from my rearview mirror in my car. So I'm going to switch to Premier Parfait Chunky to make the ghosts, just to keep them a little bit more compact. So I think I have 5 pumpkins finished. So I think I'm going to wrap those up today because I'm only going to make 5 of those. I don't want to go too overboard with the like Halloween type things because this is probably going to be my only market before Halloween. The next one is the weekend after Halloween. So I don't want to get stuck with a bunch of Halloween themed inventory because I made that mistake last year. I think it was with, I don't know. I get stuck with stuff all the time, but I am going to work on the ghosts and getting those put together, and then hopefully I'll have an update for you guys in a little bit. Okay, I'm coming on for an update. I got all 5 of my little hanging ghosty pumpkin things. So oh my gosh, we're all twisted. Hold on. Please pause. Okay. So I originally intended for these to be, I freehanded these, like just kind of came up with both patterns for the ghost and the pumpkin and the assembly. I'm sure there are patterns out there, but it seems simple enough. So I sold out of these at my last Palm Street Live. And I was like, I really want to make some more to bring with me to my markets. I didn't want to overdo it because, like I said, the 25th is the only market I have before Halloween. I was going to have one on the 16th, but I got waitlisted, and that's coming up in 10 days. So I don't think, was it the 16th? No, it was 11th. It's this coming weekend. I don't think I got into that one. So here we are. I mean, honestly, if they reached out to me at this point, I would have to turn them down because there's no way I can do a full market with a broken ankle. Just not going to happen. So it's probably for the best that I didn't get into that one. But I originally intended for them to be car hangers because I like hanging things seasonally on my rearview mirror, and you can literally just like drape it, and you can adjust the height if you needed to. Like if you have a taller dash on your car, you could wrap it around multiple times. I know there's patterns out there where they have like a little doohickey that you can that goes around both, so you like loop it over and then you can tighten it depending on whatever. But I really like this design more because it's a little bit more adjustable, in my opinion, personally, not to toot my own horn. But like I said, that was just kind of freehanded, but I got all 5 of those done. So we're going to take a look at my market prep list really quick and kind of decide, because those were the 2 things I think that I mentioned I was going to work on. And then I think I talked about, ignore all the decor behind me. I'm trying to sell it. So it's kind of all over my table at the moment because I was going through it. But so we've crossed off the sweater teddies and now the pumpkin and ghost hanging pumpkin and ghost things. So I still have a lot that I want to get done. Part of me wants to continue with the smaller items because I feel like I'm a little out of balance with small and big items. I don't really want to work on the chubby birds. I think that was what I was going to move on to next, was getting the chubby birds finished, but I'm not really in the mood to do chubby birds. So that kind of... The other thing that I have on my list that I probably could knock out fairly quickly are my mini loaf cats. I usually just use yarn scraps, and then I have a bunch of speckled yarn up here that I could get through. So I need to double check my numbers, but I think I only need to make 8 of them. So I might go ahead and knock those out because those are one of my best sellers. And then we can reconvene and figure out what we're going to move on to next. But I think that's going to be the plan, is to work on mini loaves next. Hello, friends. I have a bag full of cats. I kind of deviated from the market prep list ever so slightly because I've made more than what was on my list. So originally I was only going to make 8, but then I was kind of like pulling colors and I was like, maybe I'll make 10 and do 1 or 2. sorry, maybe I'll do 10 and I'll pick 10 different colors and make one of each. And then I kind of was just like, what's the point of that? Because I like having twos. That way I can kind of restock things as they sell. So I pulled 10 colors from my shelves and proceeded to make 2 of each. So I have a lot of loaf cats. They're not quite finished yet. I still need to close the back and attach the tails. But I figured I would come on here and show you guys what I have done. So I've got 2, and basically I batch prep. So for each color, I'm making both of the bodies and then I'm making both of the tails. And then I'm setting them aside and moving to the next color. And then once I'm done making all of them, I will go back, finish up the backs, and attach all of the tails all in one go. That way it's a little bit more satisfying for me to fill up. I don't know. It's like a mental... It is what it is. Then I have 2 in this black tweed Bernat. I don't know if anybody else was able to snag some of these. So I saw them at Walmart last year. It was in like the fall of last year. And it was the first time, I think they had just released it, and I grabbed like 3 skeins of each, this and a brown color that I'm about to show you. But I haven't seen it since. So does anybody know if this is just like a limited release from last year from Bernat, or are they planning on bringing it back? I don't know, because I really like it. It's on the thicker side of yarn, of the yarns that I like to use. So it isn't the most comfortable yarn to crochet with for me, but I really, really love the finished look. I just feel like it adds dimension to the item, so I really, really like it. But I have 2 of those done, and then this is the brown version. I love this brown yarn so much. I love it. But I have 2 of those, 2 of the black, 2 of this cream mix, and all of these are Bernat blanket. I typically only use Bernat blanket for these just because I really like the size that they come out. I've got this gray polka dot, like speckled color, 2 of those. I've got this. This is one of my favorite colorways. I wish I knew what it was off the top of my head. If I saw a picture, I could say like, oh yeah, that's it. I need to order some more of this because I think I'm down to my last like half skein of this, and then it's gone. So let me see, what else do I have in my bag of cats? And then I think the last color that I have finished is this like orangey like tomcat color, which I really like. So now I am working on a mixed black and white and gray, and I'm going to get those done. And then, so how many is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 12 mini loaf cats done, and I was originally only going to do 8. So we have gotten a little bit out of control. However, I justified it because the mini loaves are one of my best sellers. I tend to sell out at almost every market. So because I have back-to-back markets coming up on the 25th and then on November 2nd or something, 1st or 2nd, it's that first weekend in November. So I have 2 weekends back-to-back, and they're both double booth spaces. So I really wanted to make sure I have plenty. That way the following week, like the week in between both of those markets, I'm not scrambling to restock a bunch. Now, if I sell out of loaf cats and I sell all of these, because this will be somewhere around 20 loaf cats when I'm done, I won't be mad, obviously, because I sell them for $12 a piece. So that's not a bad payday, but obviously a little bit stressful for me to restock. But good thing is, I'm still at home this week. It is only Tuesday. We have all of this week at home, and then I have a feeling next week I will be back in the office for work. My ankle is feeling a little bit better today. I was able to get a little bit more sleep last night. I'm kind of to the point in the, I guess, healing process where it's just really achy and sore and stiff and just really frustrating more so than painful, I guess, unless I tweak it, or if I bump it into something, then it's kind of painful. But if you've ever broken a bone, which I never have, this is a wholly new experience for me. But I'm kind of to that point where as long as I'm not moving, I'm perfectly fine. It's like nothing is wrong. So I'm just kind of contently sitting here crocheting. I have got work to do as well. So I'm just kind of like taking mental breaks here and there to do a little bit of crocheting, and then I go back. But I'm about to take a lunch break. So I'm going to hit these loaf cats pretty hard, and then I will come back and update you guys once I am done. As you can see, it has turned into the perfect, cozy, rainy crochet day ever. When it rains this hard, because recently, I mean, since we got back from the UK, we haven't had really a drop of rain. I think we had like a very brief sprinkle yesterday, and we got back like a week and a half ago. So we've gone almost 10 days without a solid drop of rain. So I am thrilled. I've got the window open so I can hear it. And I have paused on making more loaf cats. I think I had 3 more colors to go, which means I got to 14 loaf cats made. So I am now working on putting them together, but I had to pause to capture some of the ambiance. I'm also watching and catching up on some YouTube because I got a little bit behind. So this last week and a half has been really nice because I was able to catch up on all the YouTube that I've missed out on while I was gone. And now I kind of want to go make a really nice cozy hot cup of tea and just sit here and put my cats together and just really enjoy the rain. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but it's so peaceful. It is so peaceful. I love days like this. A lot of people are like, oh, I hate the rain. It just ruins everything. I love the rain. I love it when it rains. So Rosie and I, please hold, I'm gonna have the
mascot sighting, right, Rosie? Hey. Oh, you're yawning? Sorry. Hey. Hey. Hi. Psst. Rosie. 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 Excuse me. Are you ignoring me? She says, yes, Mom, I'm ignoring you because I know you have that camera pointed at me and I want nothing to do with the camera. Huh? Hey. Psst. She also looks naked because she doesn't have a collar on because she got a bath over the weekend and we just haven't put it back on her again. Hey. She's like cleaning her bed. And whoa. Hi. Okay. That was a little close for me. Sorry. It's a really adorable view. Anyways, I am going to get back to putting these loaf cats together, and I will touch base with you guys in a little bit. All right, friends. So I finished the loaf cats, all of them. What did I say? 14 of them, which is incredible. I'm very happy with that. So I am going to cross that off my list here in a minute, but I wanted to do a quick recap of everything that we have made in this video because I'm honestly very proud of how productive this video was. I hope you were able to get some work done as well, whether it's market prepping or just working on other things. I hope it was a productive video for you too. So let's just do some recap now. Some of this, I will admit, were things that there were whips that I finished, so I'm kind of cheating, just a hair. But the first thing I got done was the 2 little mice, the ballerina mice. I got those finished. I'm honestly not sure because I kind of want to start like keeping track of the value of inventory that I make in each video because I've seen a few other creators do that and I find it very interesting and I think it might help me gauge how much I'm actually doing each week because sometimes I say like, oh, I finished only 3 plushies, but maybe they're 3 $45 plushies. So it's actually like value-wise quite high. So I kind of want to start doing that, and we're just going to do a little bit of a recap of everything that I got done. So like I said, I got 2 of these little ladies finished. I did not time myself because I worked on these while I was in the UK, and it was kind of distracted while working on these. But my gut feeling for these is $35 each with like the accessories included. And by accessories, I mean the tutu. So I'm thinking $35 each for the mice, and I got 2 of those done. So that's $70. I'll keep like a running tab on the screen next to me so that we can kind of see how much I got finished. So there's 2 of those are done. And then I got 2 of the bears finished. I don't have little outfits for the bears done yet, but the bears on their own, I'm thinking $25 each. They're pretty quick, honestly, and they don't take that much in the way of yarn or stuffing because they're so small and like lanky, I guess. So I'm thinking 25 each, and I got 2 of those done. So that's an additional 50. So we are at $120 of inventory made so far this week. The next thing that I worked on, or I don't know if this is the next thing, but I got 6 of these sweater teddies done this week, and I am thinking because these are like a no-sew pattern, but they do come out quite like a decent size. I'm thinking $16 on the sweater teddies, and I made 6 total of these, so that's a total of $96. So we are now at $216, which is very exciting. And then I did 2 of these dino snugglers, which I'm kind of obsessed with, I can't lie. I usually do snugglers for 35 to 45 depending on what it is. I'm thinking this one I'm going to do $40 on. So that's an additional $80 of inventory. So now we are at 296. I'm going to correct myself on screen if my math is off. Basic math, even though I'm an engineer, basic math right over my head. Give me a calculus problem, I got it. And then the next thing we worked on were these little car rear view mirror hangers, the pumpkin and the ghost. I sell these for, I think on my Palm Street, I sold them for $18 a piece, which I think I'm going to stick to for right now. 18 times, so I made 5 of those, so that's an additional $90 of inventory. So we are at like 386, I think, if I remembered that last number correctly, for this week. And then last but not least, we got 14 loaf cats done, and I sell those for $12 a piece. That's another $168 of inventory for this week. So now we are looking at plus 386, $554 of inventory in a week. Now, yes, 4 of those items were ones that I had worked on previously and finished. So take that for what you will, but over $500 of inventory finished in a week is a lot more than I thought I was going to get done in this video. I think I've been filming this over 3 or 4 days. So to me, I feel so productive. I feel really good about that number. I think I have, like, mentioned this so many times. My next 2 markets are double booth spaces. So I have the first one on the 25th is a 10 by 20 space, and the second weekend is a 12 by 24 space. I'm still going to stick to the 10 by 20 for the second one, even though I have additional space, because their spaces are a little bit bigger at that second one, the 12 by 12. I'm not going to use that entire space just simply because I don't have the inventory to fill that much. I'm a little nervous that having 2 back-to-back like this with double spaces, I'm going to be a little sparse for the second one, which is kind of a bummer because the second one was my second best market last year. Did I do it in November last year? It might have been in October. I can't remember. But I did it last year, and it was my second best. It was definitely in the top 3 best markets that I had last year. So I want to make sure I'm putting my best foot forward. So the fact that I was able to get over $500 of inventory done in the time frame for this video is so satisfying and encouraging for me because, like I said, I need a boatload of inventory going into this next market. Now, the way that I'm going to kind of explain my reasoning here, I am trying to expand my business a little bit from not only doing crochet items, because while I love making crochet items, if you're watching this, you're more than likely a crocheter or crafter of some form, and you know how taxing it can be on our joints and our bodies. And I want crocheting to remain as something that I find a lot of joy in and doesn't cause me pain or stress or anxiety. And I know I sit here and I say, oh, I'm really stressed about having enough inventory. It's more like a mild stress because at the end of the day, whatever I have is what I have. And it's more of like a good stress that kind of keeps me motivated to continue working. It's not a stress that's debilitating for me. I work really well under a little bit of pressure, but I really want to expand what I offer. I already do crochet items. I already do punch needle. I am probably going to start introducing a little bit of the macrame, which is the rope accessories. So I've started to do some keychains here and there. And I do plan on doing some other like wall hangings and things like that. That's
more on the macrame side of things. So I'm trying to expand a little bit. So the other expansion that I'm planning is one more apparel. I have a collaboration that I am waiting to get some more details on, but I've already committed to it that I'm really excited for, that's going to help me expand my apparel. But you already know I have embroidered apparel that I created at the beginning of this year. And it's all sweatshirts. I have some t-shirts, but I didn't really love how they came out, so I haven't really offered the t-shirts, but I'm planning on doing both of those at my next market. So I'm going to have a clothing rack that's going to take up quite a lot of space. I basically, one half is going to be all of like the plushies and more geared towards kids and babies, gifts, and things like that. And then the other side is going to be more towards adults. So it's going to be like the home goods items, like my pumpkins and the decor, the apparel. I also want to do the crochet kits. I am leaning towards $25 a piece for the crochet kits. I still need to film the video for that. And then my plan is to put together I only have so many boxes here, so I'm probably just going to use up the boxes that I have and put them all together and just see what happens. So I'm going to have that at my next market. The other, there was something else. Oh, stitch markers. I have been making some stitch markers in the background. I've shown them here and there, but I haven't really finalized anything yet. So there's just a lot of stuff going on in the background that I want to start bringing to my markets. And these first two markets are on the cheaper side of what I pay for a single booth space. So when I pay for a double booth space, it costs as much as some of my other markets that are single booth, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I figured if this was going to be the time to test out the double booth, these two markets would be it. So it's not something that I'm going to do for all of my markets. I'm not paying $200 for a space for a market where it just doesn't make like monetary sense for me to do that. But these ones, it did, because it's only $100 for both spaces. So that is currently where I'm at. I do have some other, product ideas that I'm trying to work out. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of it before my next market because I am extremely busy. I guess looking towards the future, we've got several market prep videos coming up here. The next few weeks is just going to be me doing that, and then some product development as well. We'll do some behind the scenes of me filming for the crochet kits, the behind the scenes of some of the other product development that I'm working on, etc., etc. And then obviously we are going to have a ton of market content. I'm excited to get back into the market content. I've really missed doing markets. I think that's where I'm going to end this video because honestly, over $500 worth of inventory, I am mind blown. I really didn't think I had made that much. So I'm super excited. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you were working on or what you got finished or anything that you're super proud of for this week. Let me know in the comments. I want to celebrate with you. And thank you again so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Give this video a like because it really helps my content go out to other people that might also enjoy watching this content. Thank you again if you are already subscribed. I really, really appreciate it. I am in the push to hopefully get to 2K subscribers maybe by the end of October to celebrate my birthday. I think that would be really exciting because this is my birthday month. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. All of that said, thank you guys again so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!